mother, a partner, a sibling to a beautiful human who is impacted by the ongoing criminalization and toxic drug supply. He's made vulnerable and harmed by the ongoing stigma of psychiatric survivors and of folks who use certain substances. It means a lot to see so many folks here as we raise the International Overdose Awareness Day flag for the first time in Cobourg and Northumberland County. Before I go any further, I want to start this ceremony in a good way by recognizing that we are gathered on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations and the lands covered by the Williams Treaty. I am a treaty person. I'm an uninvited settler on these lands, and it is my responsibility to uphold my treaty obligations. And when I think about what that means in the context of today, for me, it means naming why we're here. Why are we observing a day where we mourn and grieve the loss of lives to preventable deaths? Why are we here to recognize the survivors who continue their survival struggle in the face of this ongoing national public health crisis that we've come to know as the overdose crisis? We're here because of the roots of the war on drugs. We're here because of racism, colonialism, classism. We're here because of stigma. And so that's what I'm offering, and that's what I'm reflecting on as I talk about my connection to these lands and the First Peoples. It is significant. It means that this crisis and the people who are most affected by it, those we've lost, the families, extended the same compassion that we extend to so many other groups. So it is significant. And I want to thank the town of Cobourg for offering us the opportunity to raise this flag today. With that said, I'm going to invite Ben and Joan, who lost their son Thomas, to raise the flag for us. I'd like to invite Mayor John Henderson to come forward now to share his remarks and read the proclamation.
Well, before I begin, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. I'd like to recognize my Cobourg Council colleagues who are with us today. I'd also like to recognize the Cobourg Police Services, the Deputy Chief and staff, and of course all affiliated organizations. And of course we also have our Chief of the Fire Services as well. As I stated, I am grateful to be here today on behalf of Cobourg Council. Cobourg does not stand alone in the rise of opioid overdose-related emergency department visits, hospitalizations, and unfortunately, deaths as symbolized by the empty purple chairs. These are daughters, sons, mothers, fathers, healthcare workers, teachers, business people. Unfortunately, this crisis shows no limits and continues to have devastating impacts on communities such as Cobourg, families across Ontario, and nations. We put in a profound effort always behind the scenes. In particular, I'd like to recognize Green Coalition. No, that's okay.
Missy, tell us what's going on today here.
Yeah, so today we're observing International Overdose Awareness Day. We're raising the IOAD flag for the first time in Cobourg. We're hosting daytime events, memorial and awareness events, so free naloxone trainings, a community arts project to recognize those lives lost to the toxic drug crisis. And then this evening we're going to have a candlelight vigil where we're going to speak the names and share memories of our loved ones that we've lost.
Explain a little bit about the purple chairs.
Yeah, so the purple chairs are representative of the empty chairs at families' tables across the country. You know, the purple is the designated color for IOAD, and so some of the Mom Stop the Harm advocates, it started with those in Manitoba actually, they came up with this idea to use purple chairs as a symbol of, you know, their loss and our loss and the emptiness that impacts us and that we're faced with every time families come together for a holiday, a celebration. There's always an empty chair at the table because of the loved one that's not here with us anymore.
The parents that raised the flag, if you could talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, so Ben and Joan lost their son Thomas to a toxic drug death. And so they are, you know, really finding different ways to carry their grief with them as they try to integrate the loss of their son into their lives going forward.
I spoke to you yesterday, and speaking with you today, this is hard for you.
Yeah. We're talking about human beings, right? We're talking about people that are loved, who are still loved, who are missed. We're talking about parents, children, siblings, friends, partners, people who should still be here.
Hello. Now just wanted to speak them.
Yeah.
Hey, you doing alright?
Yeah.
Call 911, obviously.
Yeah.
While they're on the way. Boom. Can't hurt me because I'm not gonna wreck you. Boom.
Hi everyone, we're going to get started in 5 minutes. Thanks so much for being here. It's 5 minutes.
In Black communities. Canada has neither recognized nor educated the public adequately about the historical facts related to slavery and the anti-Black racism it has produced. I will repeat what I said exactly 1 year ago when we gathered together. We cannot speak of reconciliation in this country without acknowledging the truth of how the racist, failed war on drugs continues to disproportionately harm Indigenous and Black communities. Writer and activist Robin Maynard reminds us,
my name's Ashley Smoke. I'm an Indigenous First Nations Ojibwe person. It's happening. Our friends, our families, colleagues, clients, they're all being poisoned by the potency and mixtures of drugs that are flooding the market. As someone who uses drugs and being Indigenous, I've been stigmatized and discriminated against. I've been then, unfortunately, my own son. I've lost multiple people to overdose and other causes related to drug use over the years. I've lost ex-partners. I've lost over 50 good. The best place they could find him was jail. He was had never taken any opiates, and they prescribed him methadone and had an overdose and died in jail. The last few years for me have been full of losses in the spirits to the point my life will never look the same. But it was through my sadness, anger, and pain that came a career advocating for the rights of others in so many different capacities. Sharing that sadness, in 2016, Ontario has mourned 10,444 individuals, and that number grows daily. 200 people a month die in Ontario from overdoses. Today,
we light this candle to remember all the lives lost to drug poisoning, overdose, and addiction. We want to acknowledge all those who have struggled in Northumberland County and in communities all across Canada. We hold you in our hearts. Candle 2. This candle lights the way for those still in pain, who may be struggling with their substance use and who are put at risk by the ongoing criminalization of certain drugs, the stigma it invokes, and the toxic street supply in which it results. Let this candle represent a beacon into the darkness and proclaim our hope for your survival and ability to reclaim your health. Let this candle represent our solidarity with every person who keeps vigil for another who is in the throes of their battle. Candle 3. This candle signifies hope for those who have found their way out of the darkness of addiction and acknowledges that reclaiming your health is possible. We recognize that trauma and addiction cross cultures, classes, and countries, and that by using our collective community, they can be conquered. This candle is for all the parents who have lost their children to a drug-related death. The path for these parents is difficult. Let us send them strength, courage, comfort, and support, especially in their longest nights and darkest moments. Let this light shine for them so they can see their way. Candle 5. This candle is for all the children, partners, siblings, relatives, and friends whose lives have been altered because of the toxic drug war. We wish them the fortitude to survive, the peace to know they did the best that they could, and the knowledge that their loved one is always in their hearts and lives on through them and with them. Candle 6. This candle is for the first responders who answer the call night and day. Through them, many lives have been saved. We wish them continued strength as they work their way through this crisis. Although the ones they save may never know their faces or their names, we know, and we bear witness to their work. So we'll now start to read the names and call people forward to provide their tributes. Thanks everyone who brought the candles forward. We remember his parents, Ben and Joan, to come forward so that Ben can read a poem written by Joan.
A mother's love. There is not a day goes by when from my eyes a tear I cry. As days go by, I'm stuck in time when you were here and you were mine. Oh, precious son, how could it be? While I live on, you fail to be. I never thought I'd see the day a child of mine would go away, beyond the stars, the sky above, and leave me here without your love. The motherless heart, no longer whole, an empty space where once my soul soared high above heaven's gate, so blessed was I. But now I wait for one day soon, I know I'll be with you again at Jesus' knee. For you, Thomas Michael Kiersey, loved, cherished, ever remembered, signed simply, Mom.
Forward her sister Deanne to share a tribute she's written.
Shannon left us suddenly on December 14, 2021, due to an accidental overdose of fentanyl, but her memory is always with us. She was the proud mother of 3 daughters who will always miss her. When I talk to our family and friends, they remember her kindness, her generous spirit, her quickness to laugh and gently tease. She wanted to bring happiness to those she loved. And she loved fiercely and was so deeply loved back. Friends that hadn't seen her for years were devastated. Addiction and mental health may have been part of Shan's life, but that was not the full sum of what she gave to the world. She was much more than that and will always be remembered with much love. Be free, my sweet sisters. We know that you are in a happier place now. We love you.
We remember Carly Horsley and would like to share these words provided by her mom Nancy and her dad Russell. Carly passed on December 9th, 2021. She was a sister to many siblings, and she had chosen siblings. She struggled to protect her mental health, but with no resources in our area, Carly chose to self-medicate. We still question, what more could we do? We remember Dylan Eastwood and speak his name on behalf of his grandmother, Leanne, who asked us to share the following. We lost my 16-year-old grandson, Dylan Eastwood, on November 25th, 2021. He died of a fentanyl overdose. It was so tragic as he was still a child, given drugs by adults who didn't care how many lives they were destroying. Remembering my boy, instead of enjoying all the life he had before him, I lay flowers on his grave. My heart hurts for all of us touched by these awful drugs. We remember Corey Treniff and speak his name and Carly Horsley's name on behalf of Grace Matzer. Grace provided the following tribute for us to share. I'd like to represent myself and all of my other friends and colleagues who cherish and miss the memories had with Carly and Corey. Life isn't fair, but things happen, everything happens for a reason. They are no longer suffering in the cruel life they were handed. We remember Ryan Bailey. and speak his name on behalf of his mom, Wanda, his sister, Amy, and his Aunt Colleen. Rest in peace, Ryan. We remember Robbie Mason, Colleen's cousin, and speak his name on her behalf. Rest in peace, Robbie. We remember Kaylee Gutierrez and would like to invite her mom, Nancy, to come forward to share about her daughter.
Thank you, Missy. We lost my daughter, Kaylee, April 22nd, 2019, at the age of 29 years old. She was much more than our daughter. She was a sister and a wife and a mother of 2 very young children at the time. Again, it was a fentanyl overdose and completely unintentional, and due to the failed drug crisis and the failed policies that we have. She died alone. It was invisible to the world. She died alone in her apartment. She was employed and housed, and there are so many that aren't. So I just want to let everybody know that it can happen to anyone. We're just an ordinary family, and we lost our beautiful daughter. Thank you.
Provided by someone who loves her. Tammy was a loyal friend. When we heard of her struggles with addiction, we did our very best to help her until the pandemic hit and we were all locked down. I fear the struggles she was facing, which were compounded by being shut off from a lot of the support systems, were the real cause of her passing. Rest in peace, Tammy. We love you. We remember Jeff and would like to share the following tribute provided by Lorraine McCarthy. Jeff was a free-spirited, talented man with a lovely wife and young daughter. We lost him way too young. You were a great friend to my oldest son, Brian. You were both thick as thieves. You are most definitely missed. We love you. Until we meet again, love always, the McCarthy family. We remember Sue and speak her name on behalf of Lorraine. We remember Ronnie and would like to share the following tribute provided by Lorraine. Ronnie, you were one of my closest friends, always there to help those in need when you didn't have much. You loved life. You were so very proud of your little girl. I was honored to call you my friend. I miss and love you always, until we meet again. We remember Tina, Monica, Heather, Michelle, John, and Michael, and speak their names on behalf of Lorraine, who provided the following tribute to be shared. You were all beautiful people with hearts of gold. You were taken away from us so very young. You all had your lives to live to the fullest, families to raise, tears to wipe, laughter and smiles. You were all so very missed. Until we are all together once again, be at peace, my friends. Missed, but always remembered. I'd like to invite Nicole Whitmore forward to share.
November 30th, 2019 is a day I'll never forget. Having police show up to my door to tell me my brother has passed away. He was my protector, my big brother. How was this fair? How was I prepared as I could be? I was as prepared as I could be for that day, but once it came, it was a blur. I was angry. Angry at him for leaving myself and his niece, who looked at him as a father figure. Angry at whoever gave him the drugs that led to his overdose. But now I get peace in knowing he doesn't have to fight his demons anymore. And he is with me all the time. I cherish the memories I had with him. My daughter and myself talk about him often. Some days are better than others. I will always speak of him at events like these and tell stories as it helps me with my grief. I hope it helps others too. He isn't a number or a statistic. He is my big brother, always and forever, Ali Dunford. Robert Wayne Dunford. He was here.
We remember Glenn Davis and speak his name on behalf of his sister Tabitha and his mom Pat. We remember Joel Charles, who was a good kid, and Duncan, and speak their names on behalf of Simon, who sends care to anyone else struggling. We remember Mike Kitchen and speak his name on behalf of all of those who love and miss him. We remember Stephanie and would like to invite her mom, Pam, to come forward to share about her daughter.
Stephanie was born on November 26, 1997, and she passed away on May 22nd, 2021. I'm just going to read a poem that I have written. I loved you before you were born, the youngest of three, and the epitome of what every baby girl should be. A bundle of love and energy that completed our family. Sometimes I laugh, and sometimes I cry at the memories of you when you were small. You wiggled and jiggled about, leaving fingerprints on every wall. I remember through my tears your smile, your music, and so many happy years. Is it wrong to want another moment, to hug you and hold you, without anything to interfere? I will not think of you as gone, instead that your journey has just begun. For your soul is now free to soar, my beautiful girl who I adore. Today I remember you and try not to grieve. My baby girl Stephanie, you will forever be 23.
If there's anyone else who'd like to come forward and speak a name or to share a memory of a loved one, I'd like to welcome you to come up now, please. Okay, so I don't really have anything prepared, but we're just gonna wing it. I actually lost my uncle to drugs, and for me, like, he was my idol. He was who I aspired to be like, and I guess I didn't realize at the time the struggles he was going through because I didn't see them, and he kept them very hidden, and he was very good at that. But he was an amazing human being, and I guess I just wanted to recognize Adam Day as another person, but not just another number. As we reflect on those we've lost, the survivors still with us, and the families and friends left behind. Please take your time in preparing to leave. Stay and connect with your community, and take time after you leave here to show yourself compassion and care.
Again, if you need immediate support, please come to the table and connect with one of our helpers. Thank you for being here. Keep taking care of yourselves and each other. Good night.